Well, next Sunday we have the exciting prospect to gather together again, right here on site, in person, as Temple Baptist Church. And we have been eagerly praying for that opportunity for weeks. And you think about it, sometimes there's a sense of excitement when we have to cancel a service for 1 week because of snow or something like that. But I trust that this 7 weeks of separation, 8 by next Sunday, hasn't been an exciting prospect for you, but one that you can't wait till it ends. I've talked with so many of you that have been looking forward to this time when we can be back together again. And so we're excited as we think about next Sunday. Now, the governor hasn't just thrown on the light switches and said everything's a go. There are restrictions in place that they are asking us to follow, and so we're going to do our best to abide by those guidelines as we plan to assemble back together again next week. We aren't going to start with a full slate of services. We're going to start with just a couple each week. We're going to start with our Sunday morning service at 10:30, and then we will have an in-person on-site midweek service at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, and that's how we'll operate for the first few weeks until they again lift even more the restrictions that are in place. We'll continue with our Zoom Sunday school classes for all ages, our Bible studies for the adults as well. We will release the schedule for those. We're going to have to modify some things to allow folks plenty of time to arrive here at the church on Sundays, and so we'll announce those new times in this week's mailing, so you can watch for details on that in the mail later this week. Now, the governor has given us a list of requirements to follow. There is one that is not on the list that I'm almost surprised by, but they don't say anything on the list about masks. Now, I don't know if you're like me. I haven't worn a mask to very many places over these past 8 weeks, but we're going to suggest that for the first couple of Sundays, that each person attending the service consider wearing a mask for your personal protection and just for the protection and the ease of mind for other folks from our church family that might be coming. So we're not going to police that, but we're going to ask you to consider doing that beginning next Sunday. For today, I'm by myself and I'm social distanced by 20 feet from the other people in the room, so I'll take mine off so you can hear me better today. But we'd ask you to consider that. We'll have some available if you don't have one and you'd like to use one. There's going to be some restrictions there. We're just going to stay in this main area of our facility. As you come in, the doors will either be propped open or someone will be holding the door for you. That'll eliminate a number of people touching the door handles on their way in and out of the facility. And then as you come in, we'll have ushers here towards the front of the auditorium, directing you to the seats that you can sit in. They're asking we maintain 6 feet of separation, so we're going to have open pews that are going to be designated as unable to be occupied. Your family unit is going to be able to sit together in one pew, but between you and any member that does not live in your family, there needs to be at least that 6 foot of social distancing, and so we're going to try and help with that both as you arrive next Sunday and as you leave. Now, the governor's asking kids to stay with their parents, not to just scatter and mingle with other folks. And so it's definitely going to be different. We won't have a nursery available. We will not have children's church available during the services. So the kids are going to get to stay with us. I'm excited about that. Jesus was always excited about that. And so I'm excited to have them with us for the entirety of the service. Bulletins, sermon note sheets will already be on the pews when you arrive. We won't be handing those out. When you first come through the doors, there will be a collection device of some sort. I don't know if that will be a box or if that will be an offering plate where if you'd like to give on the way in, we won't have an offertory. We can't pass anything during the service, but that'll be there if you want to drop in your tithes and offerings on the way in next Sunday. You'll be able to do that. And then at the conclusion of the service, we'll dismiss row by row outside of the facility. And so it's going to be different. There's not going to be any handshakes, not any fist bumps or elbow bumps, no hugs, no holy kisses. We've got to maintain that 6 feet of social distance, so come prepared for that. When you get here, the hymnals aren't going to be in the pews. There aren't going to be any pencils in the racks or papers. They've asked us to remove all those things, so the songs will be on the screen. It's going to be a little different, but that's okay, because the good news is we've got the opportunity to assemble together. Now, all that said, I would still encourage you, just as the governor is, if you're in a high-risk category, maybe because of age, maybe because of current health struggles, that you consider not coming for the first few weeks. Again, I'm not going to police that. If you feel prompted to come and you haven't slowed down much in what you've been doing along the way, that's a decision you have to make, you and the Lord. If you're not feeling well at all, though, we're not going to check temperatures on your way in the door, but if you have a fever or a cough or any other symptom of the virus, we would sure ask you to not come, just to protect our church family. But for those who are able, we're looking forward to being together. We'll continue with these broadcasts each week as well. Nathan and Andrew and Caden have spent hours this week getting live stream capabilities set up so that we can continue with a very similar format to what we've had the last 2 months. And so if you're not able to join us because of those concerns, or maybe you've just chosen to isolate close to home here for a while, if that's you and you're going to be at home, you'll be able to join in with us via those same avenues as you're watching today and be able to participate with us from a distance so you can watch for that. So that's the exciting news. We're excited to think about that prospect of many of us being able to be back together next Sunday. So plan that way, and we'll look forward to seeing you live and in person next week.